Shabbat Shalom, everyone. We're going to begin our service on page 3. Shabbat Shalom. Welcome to everyone in our sanctuary, everyone joining online, to our first Shabbat of the new year, 5782. Very exciting. Tonight is called Shabbat Shuvah, which means it is the Shabbat between our two high holy days, Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. So as you'll see, we have a little bit of high holiday themes, and we're still using our Elul book, but we're also going to be celebrating Shabbat together, because one of the most beautiful parts of our tradition is that no matter what, Shabbat comes every week, and we're always able to find sweetness and joy in that. So we're going to begin our service on page 7. The word shuvah means turning or returning, and so our first reading is a time for turning. To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under heaven. Now is the time for turning. The leaves are beginning to turn from green to red and orange. The birds are beginning to turn and are heading once more toward the south. The animals are beginning to turn to storing their food for the winter. For leaves, birds, and animals, turning comes instinctively. But for us, turning does not come so easily. It takes an act of will for us to make a turn. It means breaking with old habits. It means admitting that we have been wrong, and this is never easy. It means losing face. It means starting all over again, and this is always painful. It means saying, I am sorry. It means recognizing that we have the ability to change. These things are terribly hard to do, but unless we turn, we will be trapped forever in yesterday's ways. God, help us to turn from callousness to sensitivity, from hostility to love, from pettiness to purpose, from envy to contentment, from carelessness to discipline, from fear to faith. Turn us around and bring us back towards you. Revive our lives as at the beginning, and turn us toward each other, for in isolation there is no life. We continue now with the kindling of our Shabbat candles by Rabbi Bob and Marilyn Goodman. We'll be on page 11, and the blessing is on page 10.
In the beginning, emptiness and chaos, a great darkness over the deep. The Spirit of God moved over the waters, explosion of light, the long chain of emerging life. Behold, it was very good. These candles evoke the very first light. Out of the darkness came reason, purpose, consciousness of beauty, the power to discern and do what is right. Let us hold the light in our hearts. Let us bring it with us into the darkest corners of creation. Where there is pain and fear, let us offer the light of love.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, etzivanu le'hadlik
Thank you. We continue on page 18.
מזמור שיר ביום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. מזמור שיר ביום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. להגיד בבוקר חסדך, ואמונתך בלילות, עלי אחזור ועלי נבל, עלי היגיון וחינוך. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, לזמר לשמך עליון. כי שימחתני אדוני בפועלך, במעשה ידיך הרעים. מה גדלו מעשיך אדוני, מאוד עמקו מחשבותיך. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, לזמר לשמך עליון, לזמר לשמך עליון. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, לזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון.
We read together on page 21. Peace is with you, angels of stillness. Enter, bless me, give me rest. God knows I need you. God knows I'm asking. Harried, impatient, at war with myself. Make your home in my soul. Fill my home with your light. Let me breathe in your quiet. Help me savor shalom. Peace is with you, angels of stillness. Enter, bless me, give me rest. Two angels follow me home, chesed and gevurah, kindness and judgment, love and discipline. May both dwell within me, gentleness and generosity that expand my soul, firmness and self-restraint, the strength to say no. On this day of shalom, may I be shalem, well-balanced and whole. We continue with Lecha Dodi on page 22.
Lecha Dodi, Likra Kala, Pene Shabbat, Nikabela. Lecha Dodi, Likra Kala, Pene Shabbat, Nikabela. Shamor bezachor, betipur echad, Yishmianu Elam Yuchad, Adonai Echad, U'Shemo Echad, L'Shem U'Tiferet, L'Tfilah. Lecha Dodi, Likra Kala, B'nei Shabbat, Mekabela. Lecha Dodi, Likra Kala, B'nei Shabbat, Mekabela. Likrat Shabbat, L'chut V'necha, Yehi Mekol Havaracha, Merosh Mikedem Nesucha, Sof Ma'aseh Machshavah Tchila. Lecha Dodi, Likra Kala, B'nei Shabbat, Mekabela. Lecha Dodi, Likra Kala, B'nei Shabbat, Mekabela. Hitorri, Kiva Orech, Kum Hiori, Uri, Shedaberi, V'od Adonai, Alayich Nigla. Lecha Dodi, Likra Kala, B'nei Shabbat, Mekabela. Lecha Dodi, Likra Kala, B'nei Shabbat, Mekabela.
We rise in body or spirits.
Boi v'shalom ateret bala, Gam b'simcha uv'tzola, Toch emunei am segula. Boi chala, Lecha Dodi, Likra Kala, B'nei Shabbat, Mekabela. Lecha Dodi, Likra Kala, B'nei Shabbat, Mekabela.
We remain standing and turn to page 26. I orient myself to the east, facing the land of Israel. I align myself with my people, embracing a noble tradition. I enlist in the work of justice, repairing a broken world. I take upon myself this mitzvah. Wherever you go, be a blessing. 29. We read together at the bottom of the page. Holy is twilight, the realm of in-between. And so our sages taught, pray in the moments when light and darkness touch. We are all twilight people, beyond categories and labels. May the sacred in-between of this evening suspend our certainties, soften our judgments, widen our vision. Let it illumine our way to the God who transcends all boundaries and definitions. Blessed are you, God of all, who brings on the twilight. Bottom of page 31.
Open up our eyes, teach us how to live. Fill our hearts with joy and all the love you have to give. Gather us in peace as you lead us to your name, and we will know that you are one. Open up our eyes, teach us how to live. Fill our hearts with joy and all the love you have to give. Gather us in peace as you lead us to your name, and we will know that you are one. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto, Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto, Leolam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Please be seated. Page 34.
V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levavcha uv'chol nafshecha uv'chol meotecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'beitecha u'lechtecha v'derech u'shachbecha u'pumecha u'shartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot bein einecha uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'visharecha leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'yitem kedoshim le'elohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem le'elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem.
Middle of page 38. Truth and faith, these are fundamental to our existence. God alone is their source, and we are Israel, a people of God. Together, our sovereign saves us from tyranny, redeems us from its violence through countless wonders, from its brutality through great feats beyond measure. We are Israel, a people of God, the giver of life, who would not let our feet give way, the maker of miracles for us against Pharaoh, of signs and portents in the land of Egypt, the one who brought our people Israel from its midst to enduring freedom. Page 40, Mi Chamocha.
Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh, norati ilot osef eleh, malachutecha ra'u vanecha, lokei hayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam, zeli anu v'yameru, Adonai imno le'olam va'ed.
Page 43, we read together. The arrow flies over us, and the sun sets. We go down into sleep, the terror and the mystery. We asked to lay us down and to raise us up. We ask for wings and the shelter of wings. In the dream, we are given the terror and the mystery. We ask for good counsel, the word that may shelter us, protect us and rescue us, rising up out of sleep in the calm of night, that we may be restored. Translate the terror into the mystery of words. Page 46.
V'shamru, v'shamru b'nei Yisrael, et hashabat, la'asot et hashabat, לדורותם בריתם, ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם, ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם. ושמרו, ושמרו בני ישראל, את השבת, את השבת, לעשות את השבת, לדורותם בריתם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, את השבת, לעשות את השבת, לדורותם בריתם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, וביום השביעי שבת וינפש. ושמרו, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, את השבת, לעשות את השבת, לדורותם בריתם.
In a moment, we're going to continue with our Amidah. Because it is Shabbat Shuvah, there are a few surprises and changes in our Amidah, our vote and Givurot this week. So just follow along. If you think you know the prayers, look for the ones in bolded in gray, which will be the extra inserts just special for this week. So we'll rise in body or spirit and turn to page 48 to begin our Amidah.
Adonai, Sefatai Tivta, Barufi agite ilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Rekonei Hakol, V'zocher Chasdei Havot v'Imahot, U'mevii Geula Livnei Bneihem, L'ma'an Shemo Be'ahava. Zochreinu, Zochreinu, Zochreinu l'chaim, Melech, Melech hafetz b'chaim, V'chotreinu, V'chotreinu, V'sefer l'chaim, L'mancha, L'mancha, Elohim Chaim. Zochreinu, Zochreinu, Zochreinu l'chaim. Melech, Melech, hafetz b'chaim. Melech ozer u'moshia u'magen. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham v'ezrat Sarah. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, mechayei hakol atah rav lehoshia. Morid hatah, mechakel chayim b'chesed, mechayei hakol berachamim rabim, somech noflim v'rofei cholim, u'matir asurim, u'mekayem emunato lishenei afar. Michamocha ba'al gevurot, u'midol melech, melech memit u'mechayeh, u'matzmiach Yeshua. Michamocha, Hei rachamim, zochei tzurav, l'chaim berachamim. V'ne'eman ata l'hachayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, mechayei hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'chol yom yhalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, hamelech hakadosh.
Please be seated. We continue on page 61. To shape the world anew, the sea pushes back off the shore, yielding to gravity with a sigh, not a leaving, but a letting go, a retreat into its own deep fullness. The sun relinquishes its hold on the sky, only to rise once more at daybreak as the tide rolls back in, a different kind of letting go, an unspooling across the expanse. And we, creatures of earth, are granted a fresh start, a chance to gather the debris and shape the world anew. Together, wholeness is a kind of holiness, the stasis of perfection, but brokenness demands recreation, a churning cycle of endings and beginnings, the act of pulling hope and brightness from the wreckage, taking the jagged shards and making of them, if not wholeness, a new sort of sacred splendor. Page 70.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Tasim Leolam. Ki ata melech adon lechol hashalom lechol hashalom. Ki ata melech adon lechol hashalom lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Tasim Leolam. Ve'tov beinecha levarich et amcha Yisrael, et amcha Yisrael. B'chol עת ובכל השעה, בשלומך, בשלומך. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav, one more time with us. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Tasim Leolam. Leolam, Leolam. בספר חיים ברכה ושלום ופרנסה טובה, ניזכר וניכתב לפניך. אנחנו וכל עמך בית ישראל, לחיים טובים, לחיים טובים ושלום. ברוך אתה אדוני עושה השלום.
We continue with a moment of our own personal prayer and reflection. What do we want to turn from and turn to on this Shabbat Shuvah, the Shabbat of turning? And when we're finished, we'll meet back up on page 74.
shalom, aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imeru amen. Oseh shalom l'olam, u'yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imeru amen. Oseh shalom l'olam, u'yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imeru amen. Oseh shalom l'olam, u'yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imeru amen.
According to our tradition, the prayers that we share with ourselves and with God and with our community are even more holy. They carry even more weight during this sacred time. We're currently in the 10 Yamim Noraim, the days of awe. And so our work of reflection has a lot of power. What we're yearning for, what we're hoping to achieve, what we wish for our world and for our loved ones, it's said that this carries more weight during this sacred time. And so before we continue with our Misha Berach prayer for healing, we're going to share with you some words and music not found in your book to make this into a profound moment of healing. There are many different ways that we wish for healing for those we love, healing of body and mind and spirit, and so hopefully these readings and the music that we're about to share with you will help you to think about who you wish healing for, what you wish healing for, and maybe how you can contribute to the healing of others in the coming year. So we're going to begin with a prayer called Refuah Shlema, of course, which means a full, a whole, a complete healing, by Suzanne Sobransky. Creator of all, giver of wisdom, help us to embrace your ways. When sometimes we can't understand your why, remind us that sometimes only you know reasons. When there are things beyond our understanding, remind us that we don't always need to understand. God of all, giver of life, your ways are ways of righteousness. Who are we to doubt you? Are we so vain as to question your plan? Yours is divine inspiration and guidance. Our paths are created by you. You bring the new day's sun. Your golden light shines upon us. Even in our pain and deepest sorrow, your still small voice is present. You give the gift of unconditional love. Your teachings are a signpost leading us home. Merciful and loving in your ways, show us compassion when we hurt. Teach us to see new beginnings when we see only an end. Graciously shelter us under your wings, granting us peace and refuah shlema.
Adonai div lo yira, ruchi gevihati. Adonai div lo yira.
My soul I give to you, my spirit in your care. Draw me near, I shall not fear. A mishaberach can be when the doctor has said, it's only a cold, but nevertheless we stay up all night at the bedside of the child, making sure that he or she is still breathing. A mishaberach can be when we always say to our spouse or our child, drive carefully, for we are greatly afraid of that loneliness which has no end. A mishaberach can be when we seek health from God, because we wish to leave no stone unturned so that we can sleep at night. A mishaberach can be when we acknowledge that our loved one is dying, and it is we who are in search of healing. A mishaberach can be when we are afraid because we are confronted by the fragility of life and feel as though we are standing naked and defenseless in a world which is beyond our understanding. We each have our own personal mishaberach. Those words by Rabbi Alfred B. Landsberg remind us there is a lot in this world to pray for. And of course, we're keenly aware of that as we are passing a year and a half of a nationwide pandemic which has caused brokenness and pain in our world. So we hope, on behalf of ourselves and our whole congregation, that all of these prayers for healing we say this evening will reach God, and God will hear them. And hopefully by the time we welcome in next year, there will be a lot more healing in the world. And together we will be through the pandemic, which of course doesn't mean that there will be no pain and suffering, but it will help us to move forward as a society and as a world. Now a special prayer by Jeffrey Spitzer. God who heals all flesh, God who lives in each breath, strengthen your people Israel and all who dwell on your earth at this time. Give us blessing and peace of mind. Grant our hearts strength to stand in our places and to stand at this moment of radical change. Provide a complete healing of body and spirit to all of the sick, to the ones that we're thinking of in our congregation tonight: Carol Babcock, Donna Berlin, Rosalie Teddy Bono, Fran Coffey, Adele Cohen, Harold Cohen, Marilyn Datz, Tom Davis, Devorah Bat-Rachel, Helene Edwards, Sarah Fabian, Art Fields, Mehmet Guns, Dr. Randall Haas, Judy Halperin, Margaret Hare, Mary Hartman, Tommy Hazuri, Jules Hildebrand, Barry Kaufman, Robert Kay, Janet Kennedy, Andrea Mitchell, Tina Naper, Thelma Need, David Osofsky, Laura Osofsky, Bert Peters, Yuri Polanski, Buddy Pollock, Jean Posen, Randall Rout, Marlene Reb, Sandra Resnikoff, Neil Schreiber, Alex Rosen, Judy Shea, Ruthie Silver, Alan Smith, Nicholas Sobek, Barbara Strindberg, Judy Van Gorder, Caroline Wenck, David Weston, Marlene Widris, Susan Wolf, Marla Stein-Johannes. Of course, we think about all those who are affected by acts of hate and bigotry in our nation and our world, and all those who have been impacted by COVID-19, this horrible virus which still rages all around us. If you have some names you'd like to share with the community, please rise and do so as I look around the room. David.
Charles Sellen, Dr. Kinney, John Dishalaya Haywood, Fred Weiss, Dorothy Weiss, Sam Zucker, Thelma Sikora, Carol Johnson, Susan Popial, Fran Young, Larry Reed, David and Mary Lou Boyer, Jesse Halpern, and Warren Price.
Thanks.
Anita Lee Patterson, the Patterson family, Eileen and Fran Kurtz's uncle, Derek Cole, and Coretta Davenport, and Margaret Williams.
Thank you.
Susan Rendell and Maya Moore.
Thank you. Thanks. Bob. Thanks. Goldie. Thank you.
Marilyn Oppenheim and Rabbi Elizabeth Bahar.
Thanks. Thank you.
Audrey Rifkin, Vicky Pine.
Thanks.
Joyce
and grant all those who are tending to their needs, nurses, doctors, family, and friends, the power to comfort and heal. When we are alone, may we find times to be at one with you. While we are withdrawn, may we still be with our friends and family. Enable us to take steps to bring help and assistance in all the ways that we can. Please, God, please heal us all. We continue with Misha Berach on page 77. We continue with Aleinu on page 78. Please rise and body your spirit.
Aleinu l'shameach l'adon hakol, l'ateit gedula liotzer b'reshit, shelo asanu k'goyei ha'aratzot, velo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkeinu kahem, וגור עלינו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
Please be seated. Page 85. Our thoughts turn to loved ones whom death has taken from us in recent days, and those who died at the season in years past. Our hearts open as well to the wider circles of loss in our community and wherever grief touches the human family. Zichronam livracha, may their memories be a blessing now and always. Tonight, during the period of Shiva, our congregation remembers Oded Arad, father of Gonen Arad, our director of congregational learning and engagement, who passed away on Rosh Hashanah a few days ago. And we also remember Frank Backelman, who died early this morning, husband of Karen. During the period of Shloshim, we remember Martha Latimer, Melvin Redmond, Dale Marvin Schwartz, Jay Fisk, and Nancy Wayman. And at the period of Yortzeit, the anniversary of death, we remember Simon Agress, Sarah Barnett, Elaine Benjamin, Shirley Berlin, Frances L. Bronstein, Gertrude Cohn, Benjamin David, Morris Drucker, Shirley Evantoff, Julius Feldman, Maurice Jack Fields, Albert J. Friedkin, Gilbert Geller, Maurice Greenwood, David Halpern, Rose Horn, Louis Horowitz, Rose Gaben Jarislaw, Rudolph P. Camp, Louis Korn, Melvin Kurland, Seymour Lawrence, Norma S. Levine, Dr. Leo Mack Jr., Max Mayo, June Aaron Michelle, David A. Miller, Lillian Nykirk, Edward Nykirk, Michael Obot, Sonia Oxman, Isaac Pizar, Judy Rietsis, Harold Resnick, Harry Richin, Herman Rosenblum, Beverly Schacht, Morton Schimmel, Esther Sirota, Sheldon Spivak, Ernest Spiritas, Mason Steinmark, Frankie Stutzel, Rabbi Leo E. Turitz, Arnold Van Droff, Edward Wexler. And we think of all of those who perished in the terrorist attacks on September 11th, 2001, as we mark 20 years tomorrow. Those who died in an act of terror and those who died helping and healing others. If anyone would like to share a name, someone you're thinking of and remembering this evening, please do so as I look around the room. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Thank you. We continue on page 86 as we rise as a community for Kaddish Yatom, Mourner's Kaddish. Nit Gadal ve'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah be'alma divrach hiruteh v'yamlich malchuteh b'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayeh dechol Beit Yisrael ba'agala uv'izman kariv v'imru Amen. Yehei Shemei Rabbah mevorach le'olam ulalmei almaya yitbarach ve'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh V'yit hadar, v'yit aleh, v'yit halal, shemeh dekudesha barichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yahei shalama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, v'imru, Amen. May the source of peace bestow peace on all who mourn, and may we be a source of comfort for all who are bereaved, as together we say, Amen. Please be seated. I'd like to invite up our president, Miriam Greenhut, to share some information about the coming week or two.
Can you hear me now?
Close.
A little bit louder? Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Thank you, Cantor. So thank you to everybody who's at home joining us as well. For our announcements tonight, I'd like to start with a couple of special announcements. One, for those of you who don't know, Rabbi Glasser celebrated her birthday yesterday, so we wanted to wish her a happy birthday belatedly.
Thank you.
Second, would also like to say beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Rosh Hashanah services, and a big thank you to Cantor and Rabbi Glasser for helping us worship in such a beautiful and meaningful way. Next, I also want to welcome a guest we have with us this evening, a guest of Feliz Caliestros, Brianelle Cartwright. Yes, did I say that right? Is joining us from Nassau, the Bahamas. So welcome. We are thrilled you're here to join with our service tonight. And for the upcoming week, Sunday is our first day of TIR, which is great news. We are beginning our new school year in person with Gonan Arad as our director of TIR, one of the many hats he wears. So we are excited to be here on Sunday morning. On Wednesday, 7 o'clock, we have an online Kol Nidre service. On Thursday, we have a Yom Kippur morning service online, as well as a Yom Kippur family service online, both at 10 o'clock. Yizkor is online at 1 o'clock, and we have 2 afternoon service options, one in person at the beach and one online, both beginning at 4 o'clock. There was some confusion, I believe, about whether or not we were offering an online afternoon service, so I just want to highlight that for everybody. If you're not able to join us at the beach, there is an online 4 o'clock service. Sukkot is on September 20th. Simchas Torah, September 27th. So please keep an eye out on the Temple Times for more information on those. All the information for both our high holiday and upcoming holiday and Shabbat services are on our website. So please look for information there as well as in the Temple Times if you need links for access. So Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Thank you.
Rabbi Goodman has a comment. Oh, the Sunday cemetery services.
All right.
Rabbi, what time are those at? What time?
10 o'clock.
So everybody, in case you couldn't hear that, Rabbi Goodman will be leading cemetery services at 10 o'clock.
And Ed.
2 services at 10 o'clock on Sunday morning.
There will be a I realize I keep saying my microphone's not loud enough. It's not, right? There's going to be, at the same time, services led at both of the cemeteries, one by Rabbi Goodman and one by Ed Mallow. Right?
All the information is in your emails, or you can ask us or call or email the temple next week if you have more questions. Okay, we're going to continue with Kiddush and Motzi on page 12.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho v'yahava u'ratzon hinchilanu zikaron le'maaseh bereishit ki hu yom techilah lemikra kodesh zecher letziat mitzrayim kivanu v'acharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'arim v'shabbat kodshecha me'ahava u'veratzon hinchaltanu baruch atah
Shabbat. Amen.
L'chaim.
Rabbi, would you lead us in Motzi?
Of course, Cantor. And we got a nice round challah here for Shabbat Shuvah to celebrate the new year. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Rabbi. Happy birthday to you. Yom Huledet Sameach. Yom Huledet Sameach. Yom Huledet Sameach. Yom Huledet Sameach. You can blow
Thank
it
you.
out after everybody's left the room. Happy birthday!
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. And we'll conclude with Olam Chesed Yibaneh on page 92.
So we love this song, Olam Chesed Yibaneh. And we were delighted when we saw that it was in the book under closing songs. And it's very appropriate for this particular Shabbat, not necessarily Shabbat Shuvah, but for this Shabbat as we head into September 11th. Because I believe that this song is a reminder that our world will not be built, will not move forward on anger, on hatred. We'll talk about the sin during Yom Kippur of sinat chinam, meaningless hatred. That's not the direction we want our world to go in. And we know that the way forward is with love, with compassion, and with grace. So let us join together in our prayer for the world. I will build this world from love. And you must build this world from love. And if we build this world from love, then God will build this world from love. Olam chesed yibaneh. Olam chesed yibaneh. Olam chesed yibaneh. Olam chesed yibaneh.
Shabbat Shalom and Shana Tova. I was watching it go down. And then I've never actually seen a birthday candle go down because everyone always put, right? We're thinking the same thing. Okay. Get out of my head, woman. It's okay.